Passive-aggressive people are experts at silent sabotage, making you look unqualified, unhinged, and unprofessional, unless you have smart, simple strategies to shut them down instantly. The thing is, 90% of people don't know these strategies, so they end up playing right into their passive-aggressive coworkers' plan. But by the end of this video, you will know exactly what these traps are and the smart strategies to shut them down. Trust me, they will not want to try you again after you watch this. However, to do that, first you need to understand the psychology driving passive aggressiveness so that you can use it against them. There is something that very few people realize about passive aggressive people, and it comes down to their origin story. No one is born passive aggressive. It is a learned behavior. At some point, the passive aggressive person learned that direct conflict is unsafe. If they said no, they wouldn't be liked. If they didn't agree with the group, they would be rejected. And if they said what they were thinking, they would get in trouble. The source of their passive aggression is conflict avoidance. Direct conflict isn't safe. If they disagree, speak their mind, or reveal their toxicity, they're not going to be liked. So they hedge their statements and they make snippy remarks, hoping that no one notices except for their intended target, which in this case, it's you. To do this, they rely on the shield, the switch, and the payoff. The shield uses the power of ambiguity. When a passive-aggressive person wants to undercut your idea, they do not want to be seen as the aggressor.
That's a great idea for someone with your experience level.
While you know exactly what they're saying, most people aren't really paying enough attention to clock it, even as your passive-aggressive coworker is sowing seeds of doubt. The shield gives them plausible deniability. If the boss asked them about that remark later on, they would swear it was a compliment or it was a joke, which we are absolutely going to come back to later. Shutting down passive-aggressive behavior requires removing the shield, which brings us to the switch. Passive-aggressive people will feign cooperation in order to appear a certain way. Then they'll use covert hostility to get their way. A perfect example of this is if your passive-aggressive coworker agrees to contribute to a time-sensitive project, but then they ghost their commitment. Passive-aggressive people are afraid of saying no. It'll make them look bad, so they just don't do it. Instead, they pretend that they don't know how, or you're just so much better at it. And that, by the way, is weaponized incompetence. Or they'll use subtle sabotage, like when they say they forgot to complete the task or some other bigger priority got in the way. I've heard too many of stories like this where you end up being held accountable for the ball that your passive-aggressive coworker dropped at work. And they always get away with it using the third tactic, the payoff. Let's be clear. Your passive-aggressive coworker knows exactly what they are doing when they make a backhanded compliment or sabotage a project by failing to deliver on a deadline. They know that they will get away with it because you will react. There is nothing a passive-aggressive person loves more than being a victim, which actually brings me to the 3 mistakes that you must avoid when you are dealing with passive-aggressive people at work. Seriously, I've heard way too many people whose clapback to their passive-aggressive coworker have backfired because they made one of these very easy to make mistakes. But when you avoid these mistakes, you maintain your power position. But first, I need to shamelessly plug the sponsor of this video, because when you are struggling in situations with passive-aggressive coworkers, that's probably not the only thing that you're dealing with at work. Passive-aggressiveness thrives in a toxic workplace. The thing is, toxic jobs do lasting damage and make dealing with difficult coworkers so much worse. The most powerful way that you can respond to a toxic coworker is by being unfazed by them. The way that you do that is by deactivating toxic workplace triggers.
But I don't know how to do that.
Don't worry, bestie. I've got you. For a very limited time, I will be offering free enrollment in my live Get Over Your Toxic Job workshop. In it, I am deep diving into the exact steps that you need to take to get over a toxic work experience. To enroll, go to toxicjobrehab.com. All right, back to those mistakes. Now, the first mistake draws from that thing that we were just talking about a moment ago. When your passive-aggressive coworker makes a snippy comment, they are counting on you to react in a very specific way. They want to get under your skin. Remember, they're using the shield to conceal their toxicity, but their behavior is also status quo. For example, when you get your passive-aggressive coworker's agreement with a heavy,
Fine.
no one around you flinches, but you clock the disapproval. You don't call them out, but you start justifying your decision or your request. When you do, your frustration starts to become visible, which isn't status quo for you. Or your justification does the opposite of what you want it to, and it triggers doubt. In either event, when you react, you are playing their game exactly how they want you to. As I mentioned before, depending on the situation, your reaction might even set the stage for them to play the victim and make you look bad at the process. When you're dealing with a passive-aggressive person at work or really any toxic coworker, do not react. Instead, you are going to respond strategically to disable their shield, which brings me to the second mistake that people make when they are dealing with a passive-aggressive coworker. This one is one that most people naturally do. So if you've done it before, you are not alone. And actually, to figure out if your natural instinct is to make this mistake, imagine the following scenario. You're eager to get home after a long day at work, but you have to stop at the grocery store first. And seriously, the line is like the seventh circle of hell at this point in the day. You're in it, you're coping, but then someone butts in front of you. What do? A, inform them that the line starts back there, and if they don't retreat, make a whole scene. B, subtly say something, maybe complain to people around you, but you don't really confront them. Or C, say nothing. It's just not worth it. Let me know in the comments which one you would do. Now, if you're a fire sign like me, you probably chose A, and you're probably guilty of acting this out at least once like me. Seriously, do not try me in the Whole Foods queue. It's where I let out my rage. On the other hand, you might react by saying something, but when it happens, the real answer is probably B or C. And it's not because you're not bothered, but because, like most people, you don't want conflict. In fact, most people actively avoid it. And this always makes me think to that scene in Fight Club where the homework is to start a fight and how challenging it is because most people are conflict avoidant. The thing is, your passive-aggressive coworker is banking on you avoiding confrontation as much as they do, or maybe even more than them. You need to be willing to confront them. Now, don't worry, you don't have to lose it and start flipping over meeting tables. Instead, you're going to use the scripts that I'm about to share to confront them, but in a way that avoids the third mistake. Most people think that they're being assertive when they make this third mistake. But really, all they're doing is triggering the passive-aggressive person's defenses, which will cause them to ratchet up the situation. And this is actually a key lesson to deal with passive-aggressive people, negotiations, and influencing people in general. And it's a lesson I learned early on in a very unexpected way. I actually grew up a couple blocks away from a forest. The only thing separating the entrance from the doors for my primary school and the forest was a 5-foot chain fence. It was really common for animals that lived in the forest to take a stroll around the neighborhood or show up in your backyard. Thankfully, we didn't have bears strolling down the street or anything like that, but it was really normal to have raccoons, skunks, and coyotes roaming around. Generally, this wasn't a big deal. They were just making their way through this crazy world of ours. But sometimes they'd be in the way. From a very young age, I was taught to never corner an animal. So if I got home and a raccoon was chilling at my front door, I knew I could not go near it to get it out of the way. If I did, I would block its escape path, which would trigger its defenses, and believe it or not, getting attacked by a raccoon has never been on my bucket list. Instead, I needed to stand back, give it a clear path to get away, while encouraging it to do so in a rather peaceful manner. And actually, they didn't want to be bothered by me either, let alone fight me. So usually once I made a little bit of noise, it would run off. The same goes for your passive-aggressive coworker. If you corner them, you block their escape path. This triggers panic. Their survival instincts take charge, and they ratchet up their manipulation and sabotage campaign. And of course, they're going to do everything they can to protect themselves using the shield, the switch, and the payoff. Similarly, you might feel cornered by a passive-aggressive coworker. You're damned if you do call them out, and you're damned if you let them get away with it. But what they don't realize is that you always have an escape option that revokes all of their tools. And we love taking their tools away. So let's get into these scripts to shut down passive-aggressive people at work. These scripts are my absolute go-to diabolical scripts that will make your passive-aggressive coworker back off with their toxic trail between their legs and regret their life choices. It's actually hilarious to watch. Now, there is one thing that is true for each of these scripts that I'm going to share. Delivery matters. Deactivating the tools that passive-aggressive people use, and the payoff in particular, requires you to use your most neutral tone for each of these, and neutral body language as well. The first one actually became my go-to a couple of years ago. It is the perfect reply when someone is being passive-aggressive under the guise of being helpful. Like when your passive-aggressive coworker makes a backhanded comment about an idea that you shared in a meeting. I actually shared this one on a TikTok a couple years ago, and it quickly reached more than 13 million people, and that video has been duped word for word by so many other creators because it is just so good. I can't even be mad about it. When a passive-aggressive person at work or in life makes some snarky remark, you are going to say, "Are you trying to be helpful or hurtful?" The reason why this works is absolutely not because they are going to answer truthfully. No, they are going to say that they are being helpful even when they're not. But they're not going to try you again. And here's why. It forces them to clarify for themselves their intentions. It deactivates their tool set. And it allows you to de-escalate from a position of power. Remember, they don't want everyone around them to see them for who they are, but confronting them in this way with an out gives them an option to avoid the conflict that they desperately need to avoid. It removes their reward as well. You're not reacting in the way that they want. They want control, and you took it away from them. It also puts them on alert because what you're really saying when you say this is, "I see what you did and I won't accept it." While this is my favorite, different situations call for different scripts. Like, what about the passive-aggressive coworker who snarks sarcastically under their breath or uses snippy qualifiers to insult you without really insulting you? For example,
Maybe the basic approach would work this time.
on the surface, they're agreeing, but the subtext is it's simplistic and they're seeding doubt. But since it's failed in the shield, how are you supposed to respond? Well, now you can use the second script. Can you repeat that? When you do this, pose it like you just didn't hear them. It invites them to speak up and speak clearly. It is highly unlikely that they are going to move to actual aggression and repeat themselves verbatim at this point. It's much more likely that they are going to edit their statement.
It might work this time.
I didn't catch what you were saying, Avery. Can you repeat it?
Yeah, I agree.
Passive-aggressive people depend on the shield to make their quip almost unperceptible. Removing it removes the shield. Because you didn't hear it and you're neutral, they also lose the payoff. And you've taken control of the switch, but you're doing it in a way that gives them the out that we talked about. Remember, they rely on hidden hostility. Repeating it a second time, especially when you've just prompted attention to them, has a higher risk of everyone around them clocking it, which they absolutely do not want. So they'll restate the surface of what they said, but they're going to drop the passive-aggressive connotation. While this works for the "you might have missed it" statements, it's not going to work as well for passive-aggressive remarks that they speak loudly and clearly. These are typically passive-aggressive comments they make that rely on you taking something a certain way while giving them deniable plausibility that they didn't mean anything bad. You just took it the wrong way. Here's one that I've actually had several of you in the community tell me that you've heard.
That's an interesting outfit choice. Very you.
Okay, Miranda Priestley, let's break this one down. Again, they've used the shield because the surface interpretation is a compliment. And what does very you even mean? It's a line that makes the switch very easy. You just took it the wrong way. And if you get miffed about it, well, that's the payoff that they're actually looking for. This is where the third script comes in very handy. And it goes like this.
That's an interesting outfit, Jennifer. Very you.
What do you mean by that? The smartest way to use this line is by playing dumb. No matter what they said, whether it's a passive-aggressive insult to what you're wearing, working on, or accomplishing, the dumber that you act when you say this, the more you take away their shield. Remember, they're trying to conceal their toxicity, but when you play dumb and you ask them to explain it, once again, you take control of the switch and they have two options. The first is honesty, which passive-aggressive people aren't going to choose, or they're going to have to stay surface level and pretend that they meant what they said.
It's very bold.
Best of all, they're expecting you to take it as an insult, not take their passive-aggressive toys away. So when you remove the reward and introduce the risk of exposure, they're not going to make the same mistake twice. Now, even recording this, I can basically hear you through the screen.
But they're just going to say they're joking.
Which of course they're going to say that. Crying joke is a hedging strategy. They could say something mean and malicious, but pretend that they didn't mean it because they were making a joke. Remember, one of the crucial elements is giving them an out, which is actually what they're taking when they say that. And if it's the first time, maybe let them take the out. But if they want to try it again, here's what you're going to say. And again, the more neutral that you say this and the more you feign stupidity, the better this is going to go down. When you do this well, you will absolutely see the blood drain from their face. Can you explain the humor? Because what are they going to say to this? Chances of them explaining their toxicity in detail are slim to none. Instead, they're going to stammer out some incoherent explanation about how funny it was. The key here is everything about your facial expressions when you do this needs to scream, "That makes no sense." This will actually cue the response everyone around you should have. And if you really want to twist the knife here, keep playing dumb. I still don't get it. There is an immense amount of power in pretending to be too dumb to be offended. And again, when you do it, you revoke the shield, the switch, and the payoff in the process. Which actually brings us to the last way to respond to passive-aggressive comments. And it's not so much a script, but in my opinion, it is the best power play and not enough people choose. With this tactic, you are going to leave them with their shield, but you're pulling an Uno reverse card on the payoff and the switch. When your passive-aggressive coworker makes a backhanded remark, take it at face value. Again, be smart, play dumb. They're using the shield to conceal their toxicity from most of the people around them. And while they might not notice that, what they will notice is your reaction. So take them at face value and use their shield to your benefit.
That's a great idea for someone at your level.
Thank you so much, Janet. It means so much to me that you think that I'm ready for a promotion. In this instance, Janet expected me to take offense. Maybe get quiet, but definitely to doubt myself, which is what most people do in the situation. And while people might agree with the surface level of the statement, Janet still would have effectively sown some doubt because of the way that I reacted. Janet doesn't expect for you to play dumb and pretend that she really meant what she said, but when you do, you actually alter the meaning of what she said. It's not like she's going to speak up and correct the record.
No, I meant it as an insult.
Instead of sowing quiet doubt, use Janet's shield to shift how everyone in the room perceived her statement. You control the payoff, you control the switch, and you get to quietly laugh to yourself as you watch Janet's flustered reaction. It's honestly chef's kiss. That being said, when you are dealing with a passive-aggressive coworker, it's not just the backhanded comments that you're having to deal with. They're actively trying to undermine and sabotage you, and you need to be prepared to maintain the upper hand. So I want you to go watch this video next to learn how you can become immune to toxic people at work. See you there, bestie.